Shalom family, this is Or Ibri, author, investor, and consultant, author of Making Your Enemy Your Footstool, and I'm coming to you today with another video. I'm sitting here with the little one. She just got up from drinking her bottle. Say hey. So I want to address something that I saw online today. I saw online earlier this week. I came across a video. It's an older video. A few African American individuals, older gentlemen, very astute, learned, knowledgeable gentlemen who were talking about a subject, and they said Moses got his 10 commandments from basically the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at. I have heard this a lot. I've heard this a few times before, and this isn't a questioning of these individuals' knowledge or expertise or wisdom or anything like that. However, what I do know is what I do. Now, a lot of you all know that I do subscribe to the Hebraic Israelite walk. That's my faith walk. That's my identity. That's what I do. I don't push my identity on anyone else. I hold firm to when Joshua said, hey, if you want to serve other deities, you go do that. But as far as me and my house, we're going to serve Yah. That's what I subscribe to. So whatever you want to do is what you want to do in your house. Whatever I'm going to do is what I'm going to do in my house. And I feel like the way that I live my life authentically can help a lot of other people, but I know everything ain't for everybody. So only thing I could do is be the living word. Just be the example of the life I live. Not pushing on anyone else. Just live it. But back to the subject. So it said Moses got his 10 commandments from the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at. So those of you all who are extremely studied, y'all already know where this is going. Y'all already know how this is. For those of y'all who may not know, this is a great video for you to learn. Now, I'm not going to get super deep with it. I'm just going to give a couple of surface level, a little bit of surface level information, and then maybe later on come back and touch on it. But first things first. There are more than 10 commandments. Anyone who actually knows the Bible or who knows Torah knows that there are more than 10 commandments. The Most High, when he gave the Israelites the commandments on Mount Sinai, he gave them more than 10. And then all throughout their time in the wilderness, he was giving them additional commandments. So there are about 613, people say 613 commandments. So we're going to say there's 613 commandments. There are only 42 laws, negative confessions of the laws of Ma'at. So last time I checked, 613 outweighs 42. So even if he got 42 of them from the 42 confessions of Ma'at, which he did not, it still doesn't account for an additional 500 plus laws. So where did those come from? That's first. Number two, anyone who knows the laws of Ma'at knows that there are more than the 42 negative confessions. You also have 42 positive confessions. So everyone who studies and understands the laws of Ma'at, they know that this individual had to, after death, they had to say they did not do these things, which are the 42 laws of Ma'at, the negative confessions. They also had to confess the 42 things that they did do. And also on a daily, they had to revisit back their life and say, today did I, and today I did not, and today I did not. So it wasn't just 42 negative confessions. So that's that. Third point that I want to make, and this may not be my last point, this may be my last point. There is a such thing as universal law. Simple as that. No matter where you go, there are certain things that are just universal principles. So for someone to say the idea of thou shalt not kill was taken from a certain group of people, when that is a universal practice, whether you're in Asia, whether you're in Russia, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in the Americas, whether you're in Antarctica, thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not murder is a universal practice. That's simple. So when you get into basic principles and saying someone stole basic principles from someone else, that's asinine. That's really asinine. Like that. That doesn't make any sense. Now if we say, let's just say for instance, one of the commandments in scripture is you shall not mix wool and linen fabrics together and wear them. You want to say something? You got something to say too, baby? So now if one of the 42 negative confessions of my aunt was I did not mix wool and linen fabrics together and wear them, then you would have a case. Like there would be a case here on this thievery. But that's not it. We're going off of general things. I did not steal. I did not kill. I did not dishonor. Like that. Those are universal practices no matter where you're at in the world. So that's not anything special. Lastly, here's the thing. We keep trying to base the past off of the present, and you can't do that. Even if something as simple as right now you have tons of people who have 1 million followers on Instagram, 10 million followers on Instagram, 20 million followers on Instagram, millions of followers on Instagram. This is a new phenomenon that people know 1 million people or are connected to 1 million people at one time. Do you all not know that previous civilizations in the hunter and gatherer era, their societies or their communities were no bigger than 150 people because mentally you only can know a maximum of 150 people at a time? So with that being said, there are many, many, many coincidences or likenesses or similarities that are going to be in an area because you live in the same area. So there are going to be things that you all do that are similar. Like if y'all could go and read posts where people like something as simple as the one post that they said where it said black families eat spaghetti more than the Italians do. And then you go and you look on there, all the group of people in America who eat spaghetti all the time. White people, Spanish people, black people. Like when you live in a certain area, you do the certain you have a lot of similarities. Now you have some differences. So so a black family in America may have some differences than a white family in America or a Spanish family in America. But it's a lot of things that they do. I'm sorry, they're going to have differences. But it's a lot of things that they do that are very similar. Same thing in ancient cultures. So you're going to have these things. Also, this is how you know certain things are universal practices. For instance, if we go earlier in the Bible, before the commandments were given to the children of Israel, when Abraham went into Egypt, and Abraham told the Egyptians that Sarah was his wife, and they came to find out, that Sarah was his sister, and come to find out Sarah was his wife, what did they say to him? For those of y'all who know, they said, why did you not tell us this was your wife? Why were you trying to bring this grave evil onto us? Because it was a universal practice that if you slept with another man's wife, you were supposed to be put to death. The Egyptians knew that. Abraham knew that. Abraham's from a totally different area than the Egyptians. And everyone down the line knows that even now in 2021, we know it's wrong to sleep with someone else's wife. And we on the other side of the world. So we have to remember these things. Like, we can't just take things and run with them. Now, yes, there are some coincidences and some similarities, and we can get into different topics of Moses being a high priest in Egypt and all these different things we can get into. But on the topic at hand, if the Israelites got their 10 commandments, which there are more than 10 commandments from Egypt, we're going to have to say that didn't happen. We're going to have to say that. Now, maybe there were some similarities, general ones, like I told you all, but until you go find the specific things, you can't say that. If you ever have any questions or you want to comment, I'm open. Like, I'm not that type of person where it's like, or I don't want to hear what you have to say, or you differ, your thought process different from mine, so I'm gonna block you. No, I welcome healthy dialogue because this is how we edify one another. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I just know what I'm talking about. And none of us knows everything. None of us has all of the answers. So it's great that we all build and sharpen one another. So I'm open for dialogue, and I'm open for communication, and I'm open for any type of chat that anyone wants to have. So with that, I want to say shalom and peace, and have a good night.